Say that you spend $5,000 on marketing per month. What if you could spend the same amount doing the same exact number of things, but convert 23% more of your leads just by including one thing in your process? I've helped dozens of clients implement follow-up sequences. And in this video, we are gonna see how to implement them using Notion. Here is what we will cover in this video. First, why do we have to follow up? Second, the types of follow-up that I recommend and that have proven to be the most successful. 3, the tech stack required for doing those follow-ups. And fourth, we're gonna get into how to set it all up in Notion. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, why do we have to follow up in the first place? We live in an oversaturated world where a lot of people are competing for everyone's attention. This makes it that just being good is not enough. We have got to be in front of our leads all the time. Because if not, they're just gonna go with whoever is in front of them in the moment that they want to purchase your services. But what is the bad thing about following up? It is boring. At least I don't like it. I didn't build my business to follow up with people. So since this is something that we don't enjoy, it is something that is very good to have automated and systemized. Because remember, here at Systemify, our mindset is that we only automate and systemize the things that we don't really enjoy so much doing. So others can do it for us or we can automate it. Okay, so which are the types of follow-up that I have seen can really increase the conversion rates? After 5 years of sales experience with my own company, Systemify, this is the 4 that I have found to be the most successful. And by the way, all these examples are meant to be used after a lead has booked a call. And nowadays, most service-based businesses typically sell through calls. So I'm sure that this will apply to you. Follow-up number 1. Right after they have booked a call, we can set up what is called a nurture sequence. After a lead has booked a call, he's already quite warm, but let's say that he has booked a call on Monday, but the call is going to be on Friday. We have 4 days to convince the lead that he has made the right decision and that we can really help him with whatever he's trying to fix. So the purpose of this follow-up sequence, which can be 2-3 emails before the actual sales call, has the objective to increase the show-up rate. The second follow-up call is for those leads that ended up not showing up to the actual call, so we can try to re-engage them so they book a second call. This can be quite similar to the previous one because what we want is that they show up to a call, but probably a little bit harder because we need an extra action from them, which is booking a second call. Now the third one are for those leads that have already come to the call, we have spoken to them, and they were not ready to make the investment right away. This one is a little bit different from the other ones. The other 2 can be really automated because they don't depend on the context and on the conversations that we have had with the lead because we haven't had any. This one, we have already had conversation with the lead and probably that conversation is gonna be different from lead to lead. So I wouldn't automate this one, but I will systemize it, which means creating a manual follow-up rhythm inside of Notion so we don't forget to follow up. And if we are a little bit techie, we can actually set up AI agents that write those follow-ups for us, taking into account the context and everything that we have spoken with them during the sales call. And the 4th type of follow-up. This is what I call old lead reactivation. Those are leads that we have had a call with them, they ended up not purchasing, and they have been dormant for more than 3 months. So we can follow up with them to see if they still have the same need. And if so, we can position ourselves again as the expert to help them fix it. Okay, so with these 4 types of follow-up in mind, let's see which is going to be the tech stack that is going to allow us to build these sequences. We are going to need 4 things. Number 1, Notion, which is going to be our CRM, the place where we are going to store all the information about our leads and the conversations that we have with them. Second, make.com. This is the automation platform that we are going to use to send emails or to subscribe our leads to email sequences. And the third one is going to be an email automation platform like MailerLite, ConvertKit, or now it's called Kit, or MailChimp, or any other similar one. Those are for those multi-email follow-ups. We will see why we need them in a second. Okay, so with all of this out of the way, we're going to separate these email sequences into 2 different groups because the setup is going to be a little bit different. First one, we will start with the easiest one, which is those follow-up sequences that only have 1 email. For example, if they haven't showed up to the sales call, we want to send them 1 email so they can book another call with us. Let's see how we set this up in Notion. So here we have a simple CRM with the emails of the people. Let's say that we have a call booked from Nora Smith, but she hasn't come to the call, so it's a no-show. And we want to send her an automated email so she can book a new call. For that, I typically have a status that is called something along the lines of no-show reactivation. So what I want is that whenever I assign this status to Nora, Nora receives an email prompting her to book a new call. I'm going to show you the easiest way, which is going to be to do it through this automation over here. Here the trigger will be the status is no-show reactivation. And we want that whenever this status is set, that this automation sends an email. Of course, if your email doesn't appear here, it means that you haven't connected it to Notion. Just follow the steps, it's very easy. Here in the to section, we can use the email property. This has to be an email type property. If it's a text, it is not going to work. So the email is going to be sent to whatever email appears here. The subject, this you can write whatever email you want, and that will be it. We can also use variables to write down the contact's name and everything. We can send links, and that's it. This is the easiest one, but it is not the best one, because look what happens. If I want to send this person an email, this is the email that they are going to receive. What don't I like about it? That this is written. We cannot eliminate it. So if this is a deal breaker for you, which it is for me, there is another option. And this is that instead of this automation sending the email right away, we can use make.com or any automation tool to send that email. And this is also going to be very useful to learn, because like this, we can also see how we will be able to send multi-email automated sequences. So let's delete this and let's go to make so we can see how we can do this. So now the first thing that we need in make is a way to bring the leads data inside of this automation, so then we can send them an email. We will do this through a webhook. We will add a new webhook. This is going to be test follow email, and this is going to give us a URL. This is going to be the URL that we are going to be sending the information, and we need to tell Notion that this is the URL that we are going to be using. Here, send webhook, this is the URL, and I only want to send the email and the contact name. We can send all the other properties, but it is not needed. Done. So now whenever this status goes to this webhook is going to receive the name and the email of the person. Let's see. Now this is listening, and there it is. He already got the data. Now what we need is to send an email. We can use the Gmail module. If you're using Gmail, send an email and you can create a connection. You can sign in with Google, and here you can use your Google Workspace domain. For Gmail, you will have to go through a set of steps that Make is going to guide you through. It's a little bit more complex. And that is it. Here we're gonna select who is going to be the person, which is the email over here. And here we can write the email in HTML. If you don't know how to do this, just use ChatGPT, write the email that you want to send, and ask ChatGPT to turn it into HTML, and that is it. Well, I'm not gonna write it because this is pretty straightforward. Save, and we can try it. So now whenever a new lead arrives to this status, this is going to trigger and an email is going to be sent. That is it. And here we can see the email without the signature. Cool. Also, the difference was that the Notion automation took around a couple of minutes to trigger, but this one was instantaneous. Okay, so now how can we do it so we can send more than one email? Because we cannot really use this method, because if we want to send one email today and another email tomorrow, we don't have a delay module here that can allow us to wait for one day, because the executions inside of Make are limited in time. So this is when we already start to need an email automation tool. The one that I personally use is called MailerLite, but all of them are pretty similar. All of them will have an automations area, and we can create a new automation. We can start it from scratch. And here we have all the different triggers that we can use. In this case, it can be whenever they join a particular group. It can be a group that we have already created, or just a test one. So whenever they join the group test, then we can write here all the sequence. We can send an email, then we can add a delay that can be a couple of days. Then we can add another email. So here we can write the whole sequence. And now the way to insert the leads data inside of here is also going to be through Make, but instead of this Gmail module, what we need is a MailerLite module. And here we will have to first create the subscriber with the email that we have gotten from the webhook and the name, and we can add it to our test group. So whenever this is going to trigger, the contact is going to be created in our MailerLite account and is going to be assigned to that group. And whenever it is assigned to this group, all this sequence that we have built will trigger. So this can be very useful, for example, for nurture sequence between the time that a lead has booked a call and the call's date. If you need help implementing this inside of your system or even a more advanced version, you can reach me in the description of this video and we can discuss your unique needs. And if you are resonating with the idea of automating the tedious work and creating systems, this is all I talk about. So make sure to subscribe. That is it for this video, guys, and as always, hasta la próxima.